And then I guess for the W-2s, I think QuickBooks probably does that, so I
Anyhow.
Patty, you ready to
Hey,
begin?
Rebecca, how are you, man?
I'm all right, how are you? Hi.
Since I've been kicked out of my seat, I haven't moved down this way.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Usually, man.
Do we have any board members online?
I'm on the,
Who's that?
that's Kevin Schmidt, sorry.
Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
Mr.
It
Matt.
sounded like the first transmission.
Yeah. Do we have any other board members online?
April's not on? I have two that say iPhone, so I don't know who they are.
Can you ping them and ask them?
Let's see. April, are you online?
She just emailed me.
One could be my wife for all. I know.
Margarita, you online?
Nothing. April or John Lovingood?
It seems a little less enthused.
No, Jason said he won't be here.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
There's just four of us.
Yeah, still good.
I just said, that makes
It
sense.
gives us quorum, right?
Don't you have four for quorum? Thank you.
All right, the time is 6:02 PM on Thursday, December 28th. Calling to order. We have established quorum and presence. We have myself. We have the treasurer, Rebecca. Online, we have Kevin Schmidt, and present we have Mike.
Matt.
All right, the first order of business is approval of the previous minutes.
And we don't have any, John.
We
did
don't
not
have
say
any,
that.
okay. Next, we move to the president's report. That is, I will save that for new business. I have one thing to talk about.
Okay.
Treasurer's report is next, ma'am.
The first thing, I guess, Mr. Skinner, we can maybe say for new business. So this month has just been me trying to get up to speed, doing a lot of training, do a lot of transition. We've made the deposits for the month, we've made the payables for the month. So at that point, I'm pretty proud of myself. We do have, the month end close coming up this week, so I have to use the, month end bank statements to do the final true up for the year. So that is on the agenda. Once I have that completed, then I'll have a lot more comfort level with, the workings of things and how everything is set up so that I can, be able to provide a better, comprehensive, report for next month. So, not sure if there are any specific questions. I do have, the details available here, on the accounts, if anybody is curious, at this point. But we did settle, had the settlement check for Associa that was sent out this month, $36,000. So that was a big payment this month. Otherwise, it's just the routine that's been running this month. So, and we did collect $430 from the Santa event. So,
Anything else, ma'am?
Oh, we do have, I don't know, Patty, I don't think this was in the, I don't think this was in the, board packet, for the agenda, but there was a quote that came through for the bathroom repairs of $3,192.70.
Yes,
So I'm not sure if that's on the agenda to talk about, but that was not one I think I saw in the original agenda.
no, because I didn't have it yet. It is on the agenda under Master Association toilet replacement.
Okay, okay,
So, but it came through.
okay, perfect.
Wasn't there something, the check scanning equipment?
We'll
Is
talk.
that all approved?
Yeah, we
That's
were,
new
we were
business?
suggesting to talk about that in the new business, but yeah, yeah. We did have an emergency repair for the pool. There was a chemical feeder pump failure, so that was $935 that was paid in the month of December. And other than that, there were, just, regular receivables for the assessments and, our routine bills for the month.
Tracking. Would you happen to have balance on the master account right now?
So for the master total balance is. It says balance for ending balance is 142, 272, 84.
All right, thank you. Okay, the secretary is not present and the vice president is not present, so I think that concludes officer reports. Community manager reports.
Mac is gonna read for me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You don't know your community members.
No, I just saw management report. It might be a different one.
Before
My
we,
apologies.
before we continue, is somebody taking notes for the minutes?
Aye.
You are, okay.
And I'm taking notes so we can double check if we need.
Okay.
So the board meeting, December 28th, community management report. Thank you to the new board members for being so responsive to the training and orientation. The new play set has been installed and is a success. There have been many comments regarding the old one not being safe, and now they are happy to have their children play on it. Commentary by Mike McMahon. Hopefully some of the larger children won't play on it. That's a separate issue. The exterior lights of the lake house have become available and are being delivered and installed by Will, our previous board member. Thank you, Will, if you're on. Waiting for the invoice,
That's
from,
volunteer labor by Will. by the way.
yeah, Will,
Yes, it
yeah,
is.
he's volunteering.
Mhm.
Waiting for the invoice from Fudakin to have paid prior to New Year, to pay it before the New Year.
I haven't got the invoice yet.
Okay, the toilets in the fitness room need to be updated. A proposal will be included in this board packet. The management has been working with the auditor to get the information for the 2022 audit. There is a proposal for the Westlake tree trimming that was not available for the previous board meeting, although it is budgeted as a 2023 budget item. The mulch for Westlake is to be installed on Wednesday, December 27th. I guess that was yesterday.
Mhm.
There are proposals for duct cleaning in the lake house and the fitness building for review. There are a total of 3. The social committee's picture with Santa was a great success. The calendar for the event, social events will be at the January meeting. The board will be voting on new committee members. Each board member will be a liaison to a committee. After the liaison is in place, management will put out an email to the community for the volunteers, except ARC, they will be remaining in place. The Sandpiper Crest Townhomes, the resodding of a major portion of the common area was completed. There is going to be a scheduled walk for the first week of the new year. A proposal is included in the board package to install bushes to soften the view of the mailboxes and utilities that were supposed to be done by the builder. That did not happen and is required by the county.
Pause one. Going back, Westlake, it says to be installed, was the Westlake
It was
mulch installed?
Yes.
Well, I'm just yeah, it
Because
was
this was-
yesterday.
Yeah,
It was,
and
it
this
was,
came out last week.
Right, good, thank you.
So paired villas, the installation of the irrigation timers is going on. There have been multiple people that are stating they do not want them installed. Discussion with the HOA attorney, a letter was written and sent to all owners of the paired villas, reminding them of the association right and obligation to maintain the property as the board deems necessary. The letter is in the packet for review. Pool maintenance, the chemical feeder pump was in need of replacement and at a cost of $935.07. This includes replacement, labor, tax, and warranty for 1 year of parts. And as the treasurer mentioned, it was paid. That concludes the community management report.
Great, anything to add? Pat?
Actually, yes, the door on the game room is really bad. So we're gonna have it replaced for $1,250, but we're not replacing the door. We're taking the door out and just having it done.
All right,
So I'm gonna need a vote and a signature.
We do it right now.
I mean, we can, yeah, it's kind of a new business item, we can just,
Right, just go right into new business.
you want to push it to new business first, after community folks? Sure, we'll do that. Thank you, anything else to add?
Nope.
Thank you, ma'am. New committee reports, I don't believe we have any committees present.
No, not yet.
And new business, all right, let's knock that door out now. Let's talk about it. So basically, for anybody that is curious, one of the doors on the game room is rotten because it's exposed to the elements, unlike the other doors, and it keeps getting kicked out, not maliciously, just due to the fact that the wood is rotted. So we're going to remove the door, replace it with screen so that there's not a door there. We already have sufficient exits and entrances on the game room. This will alleviate the problem of continuously having the door rot out. What is the quote for, Matt?
The quote is from T.S. Anthony Construction and it's the total of $1,250.
Right, this is our standard go-to handyman that we use for all repairs around the community. So the motion is to approve the $1,250.
This, just to clarify, this is for game room, the screened in building out back.
Yes,
Correct.
the furthest door closest to the lake.
Okay,
Treasurer, do you have an issue with this?
okay, I make a motion.
Second it.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? None opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Patty.
Can you just sign now? You want to sign
That
now?
would certainly fix an eye, so it looks horrendous.
Yes.
I'll get with them real quick and see.
All right, the next one is regarding the HOA property tax. I will try to keep this very complicated issue very brief as possible. It goes back a few months. Basically, mid-November, it came to the HOA's attention that we were being billed for 4 years of back property tax on this very building we're sitting in. They valued it at about $1 million. The back property taxes were assessed to be somewhere in the realm of about $70,000, give or take. Just shy of. When this was brought to the attention, the treasurer went and wrote a check to the county for $70,000. This was not presented to the board for approval, nor was it discussed with any sort of attorney or legal representation. 2 days later, the board received an email explaining what the check was written for and what happened. Emails went back and forth. We talked about it. It never sat right with me, so I contacted a tax attorney who in 10 minutes determined that yes, we should not be taxed for this and we should not pay this. So we hired him at the cost of a couple $100 to make a phone call. He called the county, and on December, I believe this is dated December 8th, they sent us a letter saying, yes, we've reassessed your property to be valued from $1 million to $100, and you no longer owe tax on it. So that's fantastic. Going forward now, we won't have to pay between $16,000 and $20,000 a year tax on this building. The problem is that a check was written for almost $70,000 that we now have to fight to get back. So our lawyer is working on that, and that is pending. That is the overarching details. That's where we stand right now. Does anybody have any questions?
No questions. The only guarantee that we're gonna get back is the 16,000.
Okay,
Right, there's a statute of limitations for going back on past taxes.
Even though we just paid it, it was just paid.
Correct, but you paid previous years, so I think that's an important clarification that although the check is, approximately $68,000. There's a form in here, application for refund in the amount of $15,889.66. And that we're requesting that refund,
Right now.
but the additional money over and above that would be a fight, and it is, the lawyer, if I remember correctly, said that's what he said, maybe 2 years.
he was non-committal.
Okay.
I'm determined to get this money back. Obviously, there's a cost differential there, right? How much do we want to spend to get $58,000 back? Well, I would say $57,000, right?
Mhm.
Whatever puts us in the plus side.
Right.
So,
If it's doable, right, if
Right.
it's a cut and dry thing, but
Yeah.
we'll defer to the lawyer, but I think that's the clarification, that's an important clarification is that we're putting in for a refund, this looks almost certain, is that a fair statement?
Yes.
Yeah.
But that the additional funds that were already paid, it's gonna be a challenge to get that back potentially.
yes,
I think it's important for the community to know that.
that's why we hired a professional to do it, professionalize these things, especially when it comes to large buildings. Yes.
Yep. Okay.
So that will be ongoing. All right, let's see. The next item. Committee liaisons. I would like the motion to push this off till we have full board attendance.
Concur.
Is that a second?
Agree. I'll second it.
Thank you. All in favor?
I.
Any opposed? Yeah, I got you. All right, we're gonna push that off till the next meeting to assign community liaisons, so we have all the board members present. That's a good idea. Next one, dog park recommendations. Patty?
We've had. You want to speak? We've had homeowners request that we do some work at the dog.
Do some work at the dog park.
Mhm.
Okay, that's a fair request.
Right.
What needs to be done?
I have the landscaper coming. They're on vacation this week. They're gonna come next week. They're gonna walk. But we do have, do you want to talk? Any suggestions?
Yeah. Is that okay? with you?
Yeah, come on up.
Yeah, but you have to speak up into the microphone so people can hear.
So I guess we'll start with the dog park.
Sure.
So,
And your name?
my name is Michelle Silik, C as in Charlie, IOLEK. So I want to start by saying, I think it's great that we've done so much with the gym. I love the gym, I love the playground, I love all the things, but I think that the dog park is one of those that a lot of homeowners use. There's a set core group of us that go there. And I would say the biggest problem with the dog park is the area that's up around the portico.
Okay.
So the dogs tend to hang out because that's where the people hang out, run through there. So there's no irrigation system in there. So anything up under there has turned into sand, which then turns into mud. And I don't know what a solution is. I don't know how much solutions cost. I know some of us have talked about maybe shelling that area, which
It's like the shells, there are shells there currently.
there are some shells like up around the trees. It's sort of something you'd have to go look at.
Okay.
And that would be our biggest concern is that area up around probably 5 feet, 6 feet that goes around where the trees are and up around the cement pad. I have a long-haired dog, so I can't take him there if he's gonna be up with other dogs, because he's gonna get dirty, it's muddy, so it's an ongoing conversation we have
Okay.
about it. So if there's anything y'all could consider doing, like you've done to the other parks in the neighborhood.
Yeah, so can I let's clarify? So this is the concrete pad, we have a dog, we can't take him for a variety of reasons.
Yeah,
Mainly
so-
our dog's fault, but
Yeah, so
Um,
when you walk, so when
so
you
it's been a while
walk,
since
so
I've
when
been
you,
there.
yeah, so when you walk in, you come in the gate and then you go up and there's the big
Gazebo,
portico
portico,
gazebo that
right.
has a table on it, it has the
yeah.
4 things, and then, I mean, probably at this point, in certain places, it's lower because
The whole.
it's,
So
And
it
it's
would
not
be on a
necessarily-
grading and some kind of,
it would need grading, and then sometime,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know
Like
if
a French
even,
drain of some sort.
or even just putting
Yeah.
some type of dog park grass up just in that certain area, or shells, or I don't know. the
pavers
cost.
even, I mean.
So I just think, as you go. And I don't know if it has to do with the fact that there's no irrigation there either, right? There's absolutely none. So like out in the dog park, because it gets the rain and stuff. And we do have some diggers, but most of the homeowners are really good about getting their dogs to stop digging.
Exactly.
So it's not like you have these huge holes. It's just after however many years it's been in use with
Yeah.
no maintenance.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it for sure. You know, we've spent a lot of time on, like you said, the gym, the pool. Now it's time to give the dog parks.
Yeah, no,
Thank you.
I think it's,
We would appreciate it.
Thank you.
but, and, you know, and again, just to go on the record, if I may, is we carried over some money from last year, correct? Didn't we vote on, that was, so we have some money going into the new year that we can do things like this because we carried some money over, so.
And then the other thing is too, because I don't have a dog that goes in the small dog park, he used to, but there's a bench in the back part of the small dog park. It would need some attention too, just because, again, the wear and tear from
That's one of the ones
where
that
people
we-
are tends
No,
to.
I think it's great, you know, back when we decided to look at the pool, we took the whole board to the pool and everybody did a walk around and took their notes and then brought it to the board meeting. And we racked and stacked what was needed, and I think we'll do the same with the dog park.
Thank you.
Yes, no,
Yes, ma'am.
I'll be part of that for sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Right. Let's see, next item. Lake House office hours 2024.
Yes, we have a signed one from before, so I want you guys to sign that one. Do you want to add some days for us?
2024
I was
office
gonna
holiday.
maybe try to claw some back. That's what Jason wanted me to do, right, Jason? Claw some of the days back, keep it open more. No worries,
We just took bankers out for hours.
no worries.
This is what we had before. These are the Bank of Chicago hours. I think I want to look at them.
Sure.
Make choices.
It is the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago, is that like the gold standard for holidays?
I
or-
guess so.
Well, I think that's because Tommy
That's good.
Kaczynski may have come from Chicago.
That's what it is.
Chicago.
We have
Good
to see
man.
Tommy. We have to like text him to get answers if we could have chief fixes. It's bad.
That's good.
No,
All right, so I see you're adding Martin Luther King Day, President's Day, Juneteenth, Columbus Day, and Veterans Day to the list of proposed holidays.
Those are national holidays. Yep.
I have no problem with that. So the motion would be to approve the list as presented for the 2020 holiday schedule.
Seconded.
Any discussion? I think we already had it. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
no, he's gonna sign it.
Not a beer.
Next item, proposals. All right, duct cleaning.
Duct cleaning.
We have 3 estimates for duct cleaning
Yes.
throughout the building. This, as long as these buildings have been in existence, the ducts have never been cleaned.
Now, April just sent a email, right, as I was walking in,
Mhm.
saying that duct cleaning does not actually affect your health.
Say what now?
That duct cleaning does not actually
Help
impair,
improve your
it
health.
doesn't help improve your health. So I didn't get to read it, I was coming in here. So if it's something. It's expensive, a lot more than I thought it would be.
Mhm.
Okay, so she's saying duct cleaning has never been shown to actually prevent health problems. Okay,
I just wanted her opinion on it.
yeah.
And she's not on the phone, right?
Yeah.
If this is not time sensitive, should we hold it for next meeting?
Either we do it or we don't. I don't want to push it off. Unless we're gonna do some investigating, like crawl inside the ducts or something. It can increase efficiency of the systems. I don't know. Maybe you're right, Mac. Maybe you push it off until.
Yeah, because
you
I
know,
mean,
knowledgeable.
she has,
I was gonna suggest
Perspective.
maybe, I mean, it's a pretty expensive bill, and I think it's probably worth a conversation and looking at some of the materials, so.
30 days after 10 years is.
Not gonna hurt us.
is- Right, there's a negligible impact.
The extent of my knowledge on duct cleaning is this.
Yeah, I concur.
I'd like to have a chance to really
I'll
do
make-
an assessment with the
Alright.
cost.
Yeah, 'cause I think the quotes are.
Well, there's no mold or anything in the ductwork, right? There's no black mold or anything that would be a health concern to anybody. It's just worried about dust.
Yeah, that's correct,
Depends
Kevin.
if we haven't seen anything, usually.
What
Right, so
prompted,
no indicators, from being in the buildings, but nobody knows what's in the dumps, I guess is really.
was there something that prompted that, or just
Yes.
routine maintenance?
Actually, in the gym, when you first walk in, there's this.
Vent right there.
And it drips every once in a while, and it'll do it for a week at a time, and then it won't do it again. So I think it has more to do with it being too cold inside and not cold enough outside. And then it's
Condensation.
condensation,
Yeah.
and it drips, and then it's got brown marks. So these are
Okay.
indoor, so it's a little bit easier, so.
Yeah. You know, I would like to hear from an HVAC specialist, someone that is not in the business of duct cleaning,
Right,
but is actually in the business of HVACs.
Yeah, 'cause
If anybody watching is an HVAC specialist and you want to send an email to management@fhrw.org and let us know your opinion, I'd greatly appreciate it. Yeah, check with maybe Simpson Air or somebody like that and see,
Mhm.
do you
Because there is
recommend
nothing
duct cleaning?
about
Is this an actual thing or is this just a Facebook scam?
Yes, they could, in the bigger one.
Yes, it was a filter, so I think it is worth talking to an HVAC.
Like Max said, 30 days after 10 years, not gonna kill us.
So I don't want to do public math, but it's a small percentage.
Thank you, Patty. All right, procedurally, do you need a motion to push that off, Patty?
No.
No,
Which
okay,
one?
just don't vote on it. Great.
Yeah.
Toilet replacement and fitness building. So I did go over there, if you brought it up, I inspected the toilets in both the men's and the women's rooms in the gym.
Mhm.
There are some issues with the flushing, which is never something you want to have in a public toilet.
And that's actually part of the reason we changed the ones at the pool, because all the ones at the pool have been redone.
Yeah,
So those are the last three.
so that quote is for, let's see,
3192.70,
That includes 2 faucets also.
yeah, and 2 faucets.
so places the faucets. What's wrong with the faucets?
They're too short. So in the men's room too, right?
In the men's room, in the women's room, so when you go to wash your hands, there's like barely any room to put your hands between where the faucet comes out and the back of where the sink starts.
Oh, so they don't come out far enough.
They don't
over
come
the
out
thing.
far enough that you can get your hands, so then there's always a water stain because the water splashes onto the back of the sink and there's always a water stain there that's hard to keep cleaned off.
So it's the down the edge and it goes into the floor after.
All right. Trying to do this new Robert's Rules order thing, so we motion it first. So the motion would be to replace the toilets and the faucets for a grand total of 3192.70.
Right, 3 toilets and 2 faucets.
Okay. So you want to second that?
I'll second that.
Discuss. Do you have any thoughts on this
Ones in this,
in the gym, or in the pool?
fix the dog park as much as we can, so Cleaning, keeping toilets and faucets working is a good idea to me.
Kevin? Been heard.
I agree. I think if the sinks can't be used because the faucets are too short and the toilets aren't flushing right, they have to be fixed.
Man,
I agree. I think, it's just gonna help prevent any further repairs that are needed if we're keeping them in good order.
very well. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Patty.
Thank you.
The big issue there really is the toilets. Like you go in and flush it and nothing happens. It's,
Right.
you know. Okay. All right, that is it for the master. On to Sandpiper. This was the installation of the new podocarpus you were talking about around the mailbox, which you say is required by the county. It sounds like we don't have much of an option there. Huh?
No, we really don't.
Okay.
And it's actually the parking
Yeah, I
spot,
see them now.
right?
You keep putting your head, keep thinking you have a question.
So it's supposed to be, it's supposed to buffer the electrical and the mailboxes. And then
This is Sandpiper. How much is in Sandpiper's budget? Do you have those numbers?
Yeah. Sandpiper actually just got a refund from, Sunrise, because they were being double paid.
Oh, really?
They just got an $11,000 check returned to them,
How much?
11,000.
$11,000 check returned to Sandpiper from, okay.
Mhm.
Well, that's good.
I think that covers it, right? Yeah, that actually covers the expense, but it's 91,812 is what they have currently.
Got it, thank you. So the total for this proposal, so the motion is to install podocarpus. 16 podocarpus shrubs to provide a screen for the irrigation system equipment as required by the county, and Sunrise to supply and install 16 podocarpus shrubs. Irrigation adjustments and repairs due to be described scope of work. So they include the irrigation in this quote.
There's irrigation there currently, so we just have to have it turned on by bound,
Okay,
so it's in the grass.
all right.
Good, so the irrigation adjustments repairs. Scope of work performed by
Due
Ballinger.
Mhm.
To be formed by Ballinger.
Okay,
Okay,
is this the Ballinger one to? No, that's it.
No,
Okay.
that's-
all right. Motion is for 2912 for 16 podocarpus. Is there a second?
Seconded.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed. Motion carries. Thank you. Next one, Sagewood. I believe it's C. Why can't you do these exhibits now? This is great.
Okay, you.
Yeah. All right, the motion is at a price of $1,064 to replace a water meter on the irrigation pump in Sagewood. Is there a second?
Seconded.
All right, any discussion? Remove existing meter, install new meter, test for proper operation. Patty, briefly describe what is wrong with the current meter.
Honestly, I don't know 100%.
Okay.
We had the pump put in
It's in here.
last year.
Oh, it says it right there.
It
I'm
says-
sorry.
yeah,
So this is replacing a pump that we
This is,
we put in or?
no. we
No,
put the
just the
pump in
meter.
last year,
Okay.
Just the meter. So the pump is brand new, that cost us $12,000 last year. This is just the meter that's attached to it.
Yeah, it says. It's a proposal to replace water meter and irrigation in site stage with the plastic covering is deteriorating due to exposure to the elements and it's difficult to get an accurate reading.
Mhm.
Proposal includes move existing, install new, test for proper operations. And it's labor and materials.
And how much was the total?
$1,064.
Any further discussion?
No. Did we second it? Okay.
It was second, yeah. Kevin.
Okay.
All right,
So that-
all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Not
Nope.
opposed, motion carries. Fix the meters. Next item, is this Landrise? Sunrise Landscaping for four different properties.
Do you want to do them as one group or is there anything that's standing out that's a difficult one?
Yeah, is there any reason to differentiate these or can we batch approve them?
Are they all coming from the same account?
Yes,
Yeah, they're all safe, right?
the first two are a major problem that we need to, the most expensive, of course, but they're. They've been replaced, the sod has been replaced 3 times so far. So this is going with a different kind of grass, instead of putting sod, they're gonna use Bahia, I believe. Because it's in the backyard, so we're fixing a problem.
Seville, is that
That's what it
Bahia
is,
or that's
No, it's-
Bahia? No, it's Seville,
Yes, yes,
because Bahia is not very good, but.
but because they have trees over there, so,
I had to have that installed in my house. I have an area that gets about 4 hours of sunlight all day,
yes.
and it's doing very well.
with it.
So Seville,
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah.
So I think,
And this is, you said this is for Sagewood.
So,
so why don't we make it into 2 then? Is that, if that's still there,
I mean, they're.
well, there
all
doesn't sound,
separate.
I got 3. Maybe there's a 4th.
There's 4 total.
Who's on it for?
Yeah,
We
because
can-
I just, but it's,
Yeah.
but it's all do the same thing, it's replacing sod that's been failing repeatedly. Putting a new sod in that hopes to solve this problem, we won't have to do it as frequently or
Ever
again.
Yes,
Is that a fair summary?
that's exactly.
Is this is this for the, homeowner that had from last,
From the,
From the
last
right, so the
meeting?
meeting said it's
That's
been an
right.
ongoing problem.
was
got
it, and it was a fungus? Did they
Yes.
identify the fungus so they can remove the fungus and replace it with the
Yes.
sod?
Once we
Okay.
do, once we get the grass out, that's there now.
Yeah,
That's
that-
good.
I'll read it out loud so everybody knows what we're doing.
There's
Okay,
a
so
question.
sunrise to spray, round up and kill. In this case, 1,262 square feet, failing sod placed with the Seville sod. Pre-marking of irrigation heads and any needed irrigation is provided by others. So if there's an irrigation issue, I don't know.
No, I already had that checked on both.
Okay, good. And then the next one is for spraying the same thing for 5,102 square feet. And which is the larger of the 2, and then there's a one for 300 square feet. And then the 4th one is for 205 square feet, so it's the same process for all 3, if I'm
Yes.
reading correctly, just with size differences in different locations. And they have the address in the 13548. And we can just attach this for the records, right? 13056, 13528, and 13580, all on Circuit Crossing. There's only one road there, I think,
Yes,
so.
So what's the total cost?
The grand total is $8,039.57.
No, it's more than that, sir.
You got a different number?
Well, I don't, not in my head, but it says 6,000, I'll give you the 4, $6,931.07 is the largest.
Let's try this again.
$2,255.83. So that puts us in the 9,000 range, if I'm reading correctly.
Honest looking at it.
And $516.23 and $366.44. So it's 22 and 69 would put us at 91 and change, almost like $9,700 or somewhere.
I got 10,069.57.
Yeah.
Does that sound about right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what my estimate was. And this is coming out of the Sagewood account, correct?
Sure.
Which have a small balance.
So we don't have enough money to cover this?
We do have enough money to cover it, but it's.
It would empty it all the way out.
It's not gonna, we have $30,000, but we just approved $15 or $1,200. So, and we have another thing coming for Sagewood, correct?
no.
So I just wanna be mindful of that.
So this is the first Sagewood we've approved, isn't it?
Yes,
The pump
Oh,
meter.
the meter.
Oh, the pump meter, right,
That
yeah,
was
okay,
Sagewood,
that's
yeah.
cool.
And then I think there was another, you said there was 2 pieces to this, right?
no, this is it.
Oh, okay.
I think it's okay.
Okay,
I mean, this has been a
That's
lingering
okay.
problem. I think it's. I think,
Either we're gonna keep paying for sod, that's not gonna.
Right.
Right,
Grow, or else we're just
exactly.
gonna invest in it.
right, and we'll just be careful that, that we only have 20,000, so we may have to wait till they catch up a little bit further if we have
Yeah.
anything significant.
Well, that's good though. Finishing the end of the year is still on the plus side.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
All right, so the motion is to approve.
Before.
I'm sorry, did you have something in the back?
So just a quick question, my understanding is the art guidelines only allow us to use, say, an Augustine.
In the front yard, so, because this is all on the back.
It's on the background, I just don't want the board painting stuff in the corner with the press,
Exactly.
allowing it, because then you have to allow that.
Yes,
That's what, that's what only.
yeah, because it's in the back under the trees. Thank you.
Good.
Oh, thanks, Dave.
This is on, essentially.
This is on Sagewood, it's in Sagewood, we maintain their property and their grass, their plants, their mulch, their irrigation. everything else. Sagewood is the gated area over in that side, so behind.
Okay, so they have their own side.
It's on the other
Yes.
side of Mosaic, right? It's the gated community. They have their own, that's why we're saying things
They
are
have-
coming out of different, we have this 5 sections, so different sections have different additional costs. So when you hear master, that's something for everybody.
That's what
When
it
it's
is.
Sagewood or the paired villas or something, they have their own cost, and we are responsible for some of that maintenance.
Good question.
All right,
All right, motion is to approve the installation of sod
Is it
on
true,
the 4
like-
different addresses, 13,548, 13,506, 13,528, and 13,580 Circle Crossing. In the amount of $10,069.57. Is there a second?
second,
All in favor, say aye.
aye,
Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed?
none opposed.
Opposed, motion carries. Okay, next item is, there's no items right now for paired villas.
Other than the letter that I sent out,
Now that was mailed, correct?
that was mailed, and then it was sent by email.
Okay, wonderful.
So, and again, that's just for information only.
Mhm.
But, and then we talked about at the opening that this is. People that don't want to do it, this has to be done because it's part of a community requirement.
So,
Excellent.
bit easy.
Okay, Westlake, Exhibit E.
I did reach out to Sean to see if he had any opinions or comments on the tree cutting, the photocopiers, and he said he was not attending tonight, so. Because these were, it also said here,
So these were installed by the Westlake Committee, correct?
yes,
Okay. So if we're going to replace, let's see, Westlake dead photocarpus replacement, they just put these in.
yes.
Yeah. They're not
Put
covered.
in like
anymore.
135, no.
They're not, they didn't have them covered under warranty.
I went down and picked them up in Miami and brought them back, and then they were,
So the person who installed them is not responsible for it, right? Okay,
So we didn't have a professional install these.
no, we had Sunrise install them, but they
Okay.
weren't supplied by,
Oh, but we didn't have someone to supply.
Right.
So they're not gonna warranty something they
they
didn't
didn't
provide.
supply.
I see, okay. So now I have done 16, so the motion is to spend $1,614.75. To replace 9 dead podocarpus shrubs along the new hedge line. What is the current Westlake budget, ma'am?
22,350.
So they have $22,000 roughly this. Is there a second on the motion?
I think so. You want?
Yeah, I'll second it.
All right, we have to have a second to discuss, we can
Okay,
still vote no.
got it.
Do you have any comments on this, sir?
No, I was just down the street recently and the whole purpose was to put a screen. So if you have dead trees in the middle, it's probably better to replace them.
Any other comments about the 9 shrubs?
Okay,
And what was the total one again?
$1,614.
and 75 cents.
So they're gonna supply them and install.
Right.
So those 9,
Mhm.
they will be warranted, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So we want those annotated with like a little red ribbon or something in case they die.
Okay. I know.
They might not, you know,
We can pass that to our Westlake representatives. They can indicate which ones are which.
all right. We didn't vote yet, did we vote?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, none opposed, motion carries?
Yep.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Other thing for Westlake is O'Neill tree trimming, proposal for tree trimming.
And this again would be a Westlake expense.
Yes.
So they had 20 some odd $1,000.
22,350.
So this is going to eat up, 60% of their
Hmm.
budget.
It's dead wooded. It's never been done over there, right?
The hurricane.
Right, cleanup. So it's pretty much the same thing that we had done around here.
Yeah.
for other reasons.
I mean,
Is there, now this is a lot of money.
I know, but is there any, Jason, if I can ask an expert in the room and Dave, is there any other, large scale anticipated expenses before we build up your,
Oh, okay, huh.
you'll start the year off with 10,000, it's gonna be able to cover any kind of minor stuff and.
Basically, Westlake always runs at.
Just right on the edge.
Right at the edge, and
Yeah.
because we knew exactly what it's supposed to be there, unless we have a hurricane come through, which what we built a contingency in.
Right.
And I think the 22 that we're carrying is almost at our 10% line, so. we
Okay.
Need to.
Yeah, no, this is good, that just not. Okay,
Thanks, sir.
but I have an experts in the room, so I figured I'd go that. So I think it's probably a good idea.
Okay, the motion is to, let me get the final bottom line number here. 1 second.
It's in the last page.
Yes,
Which trees?
you wanna see that?
Yeah, there's like, this,
No, not for us.
It's about 15 different
these are
trees.
the big old O's.
Is it along the,
Right here.
along the tree line where we touched the fence down?
It's right here, if you look, that's, I don't
Yeah.
have the list, but those
Oh,
dots are where
got it.
they all. are.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, it's kind of, do you know-
I think the fence line where we took it down. Right, there's fence line here, it's along here, and this is in the circle there and the circle there.
I think that help out with some of the termite problems that we're having over there, get some of that out of there.
Right, I
Yes.
mean, it seems.
And while she's there, because I spoke to Haley about that,
Mhm.
and she's gonna check to make sure that the termites are actual termites. The termites that we treat.
Hmm.
So, yeah,
Okay,
because she's a brother.
all right, I mean, that makes,
That makes perfect sense.
okay,
All right.
okay. So I guess we're ready for a
Seems we
vote.
have unanimous concurrence in the room.
Do we need to vote? Do we need to-
Yes. So I can make a motion, I can't find the final.
All right, I got it right here.
So,
The total amount is for. All right, the total amount is $12,475. And it is for numerous trees. I don't know the total amount. But as indicated there, and it's for O'Neill's Tree Service, and this is in West Lake
Common area.
common area, West Lake common areas.
all
One last thing, Matt. Does that include stump grinding as well as getting it out, or that's true?
It's not only removal, it is dead wooding, so they're gonna go up and they're gonna clean up the trees. They usually do not, because her prices are extremely high. So usually to do.
Yeah, no, there's no, it says remove tree to as close as grade as possible, 3 to 6 inch above grade. Bigger stumps with flat root flares may be as much as 12 inches above grade.
This is a safety issue, because I remember
Mhm.
Westlake's been having quite a few trees fall down.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Sagewood, right?
Yeah, it's what we did here, so it's proven, okay, so.
All right. Let's see. So the motion is to approve the O'Neill Tree Service tree removal proposal for $12,475. Is there a second?
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
None.
None opposed. Motion carries. Okay, that concludes new business unless you have something else.
Don't we have this one? We have to approve the 6 months payment plan?
Yes.
And
I
also have the check scan.
Yeah, check scanner, so.
Check
two more
scanner,
items.
2 more items. Let's do check scanner first.
So, the proposal here is to purchase a check scanner. There's an option from Truist, our bank, where we can purchase it plus, which would include a 3-year warranty. They help us set everything up. They help us configure. Patty also got some information from BAS, who will be the accounting firm that we're going to hire, which can also do this. So they provided very similar quotes. So it would be approximately $500 to $600, depending on which one we select. So the proposal here is to move forward with the ability to purchase the check scanner, get it set up so that we can automatically deposit checks that are received, because right now they're getting processed And then it could be week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks before the deposits are made, and it's difficult reconciling, so this will put the money right into the account, so that it's available for use.
Do we have a recommendation of?
So my recommendation is to purchase the check scanner, either from Truist. I have not yet gotten all of the information from BAS, but from what they've shared so far, if we purchase it from BAS, they will be able to automatically, it'll scan it into AppFolio, it will automatically deposit it into the bank account. Then we don't have to do a scan for AppFolio and a scan for the bank. So preferably, we would go with BAS, but we haven't gotten all of the information from them yet. But the cost, pricing, the options are very similar to what was provided from Truist.
Can I make a recommendation?
Yes, sir.
So if we're going to vote, maybe we should vote with a not to exceed price.
That's what I was hoping, yeah,
Right,
so.
and that way we could say, and defer to the treasurer and the community manager
Mhm.
to pick between the two. I mean, it does seem like. And maybe we should leave a little fudge factor. I mean, there's some real advantage of it going automatically to both of
Absolutely,
them.
yeah.
So what's the purchase price? It doesn't make sense to rent it. I mean, if we're
Yeah.
gonna keep our Truist bank account for 3
Yeah,
years.
so having sort of a low grade scanner, which can do up to 50 checks at a time, which is sufficient for what we need.
Mhm.
It would be around $600. So it's for Truist, it's $550 to $604. And the pricing for BAS is very similar, depending on the option that we would choose.
So
So
can I make a recommendation if we're going to do it to approve up to $700?
Mhm.
That way, if it's $50 above one way or the other, the BAS has a functionality that I think is worth it. So
Yeah.
even nominally, and if it's much more than that, then we can regroup next month, but
Yeah.
I think we should. That's how I would very
Yeah,
comfortable.
I would like to make sure that the scanner we get from BAS is compatible with Truist.
Mhm.
And it will deliver what they say. it is.
Exactly.
But,
Yeah,
exactly.
so it's actually AppFolio scanner, this is AppFolio Plus, so you move it up. And I was reading on AppFolio that they actually have plan where if it doesn't actually put it in the account, we can save it as a CSV file, and then it will merge right into the bank. And I think we can do it the opposite way from Truist to AppFolio. It was one of the perks I found.
Okay. So
So,
those are the details that I think we would want to work out. For sure, we can do it from Truist. I've had a couple of conversations with them.
Mhm.
But it would require us to continue to manage, put everything into a folio and then do the bank deposit separately. So this would simplify the process quite a bit.
I mean, I'm comfortable deferring to the two of you, then if you have to reach out to Tommy, he seems to be in a pretty
Very
sharp.
techie guy.
Yeah, anybody else who has that folio, I'm not, so, but I think whatever you think, and we set up a price, I think it's important to do this.
Yeah, me too. I
I
agree.
trust your latest judgment. So,
so
motion is to approve
not to exceed.
not to exceed $700 to purchase check scanner for the office. Is there a second?
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed?
None.
Motion
And if
carries.
for some reason there's something that causes that, if we're out of boundaries, but it's important to move it forward, we can always have a special meeting, a quick special meeting
Sure.
to say,
Absolutely.
we need the
Hopefully
$710 or what, but
Right.
Yeah, hopefully we should not need that at this point, but
yeah, I think
This is fantastic.
yeah, great idea. Thank you.
All right, the other one is the request for forgiveness, or excuse me, payment plan, correct?
Right,
Six
yes.
month payment plan.
All right, so this is not unprecedented on owners that have fallen behind on their bills before. We have implemented payment plans in the past. Thank you. This particular
You get to see it.
owner, which
Here,
we will omit the name.
Legally, you can put it in the packet, I'm not comfortable putting it in the board packet, that's what we. Yeah.
All right, so let's see. On the master, they're behind $717. And on the
1900.
maintenance area, they're behind 1923 and some change.
And that's not including legal freedom.
Yeah, not including legal fees. So the proposal from the owner is to implement a 6-month payment plan to get even. To pay $624.97 per month plus their assessments. until they reach zero balance. The payment plan would mean the loan would stay in place by our attorney until which time
The lien. The lien will
lien,
remain.
that's what I said,
Loan.
loan, I meant
The
loan.
lien will remain.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry.
Lien will stay in place until the account reaches a zero balance. So the motion is to approve a 6-month payment plan for $624.97 for this particular address. Does anyone want to second it? And then we can discuss.
I'll second it.
Max seconds. Okay, any comments?
I just like to clarify, so the 624.97
Mhm.
is paying off the $2,643 and
Well, it's gonna be even higher than that, because then you have attorney fees.
so, right, so
legal
does this amount cover that, the
Yes,
fees
the legal
too?
fees.
So it's including the back payments plus this
Monthly.
and plus their ongoing monthly,
Mhm.
plus their legal fees. So
Yes.
basically, at the end of 6 months, everybody be free and clear. Everything will be paid off
Mhm.
and then they can just start paying their regular monthly fees.
Exactly.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that. So
Excellent point of
the
clarification.
624.97 will cover all fees and all past dues and keep them current for 6 months. And then the lien will be released.
Yes.
Okay, I think that's great. You know, it's working with people have things come up, you know, it's a neighborhood, so,
Mhm.
as long as they keep up on it, that's fine.
Yeah, as long as they can, make that commitment.
Well, they are, right?
Mhm.
Okay. I'm
Any
good.
other comments? Okay, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Pat.
No, I
Penny, do you
just
need this back for
No,
signature?
I made you a copy.
Does that conclude new business? Anything else?
And that does.
I thought of it, I think. Can I make it's sort of thinking the way through as we move forward. I was gonna bring it up when we were talking about the committees. But I would just like to bring it up. When I was in the vice president position, I was getting those daily reports of security issues. I think that would be, it was helpful for me. I just thought everybody was getting them at that point. I didn't realize it was just, so I think those reports, is there any reason those reports can't go out to
The board member?
board members?
No, absolutely not.
I think it's, and, you know, and some of it's, you know, you scan through it, nothing happened. Okay, nothing to report, that's good. But then when there is an incident, the board members are reading it firsthand.
Right.
So then when they're talking to neighbors in the neighborhood, they're able to speak to the issues. Oh, by the way, there are these things going on. Are you aware of it? They probably aren't. So I would recommend, I was gonna do it when we did the social committee, because I also think we have to get a way of getting that out to the community too. And that might be something we think about when we reestablish a security committee, is the security committee can transfer that into, you know, for better word, sanitized, you know, so just this event happened. They don't have to go to the nitty gritty. It's not just copy and paste, but on the following days, on a monthly report or weekly report, our security officer has had to respond, our security officer has had to call 911 because he was threatened. These are things that the people in the neighborhood need to know, why we have it and why these things are happening. And we're not saying it's happening because people in the neighborhood are doing it.
Yeah.
It's just happening in our neighborhood.
Mhm.
So
Most of the times it's not people in the neighborhood. Most of the time it's our little lot out here is turning into a bit of a truck stop.
Yes.
well, got it. It's a place to park. Got it. And, yeah, but the pool excursions, I don't know who they are. But that, so we can bring it up next month in the social committee, but I wanted to put it on the table that, or if it's easy, to just change. You know, a daily or a weekly, I mean, it doesn't have to be daily, it could be a weekly thing, just here's the weekly reports or something.
No, I think it's a great idea. Let's just get the HOA email
Board
added to
members.
Securitas.
Okay.
They send it out and it's a simple change.
Oh,
Right.
okay, sorry, never mind, that probably didn't need to make that difficult, but I do think communicating out is important.
It's usually what's
Yeah,
going
so just HOA at FHRW, added to the Securitas email chain.
For professionally fulfilled.
All right, old business is delegates. Delegates need a town hall meeting scheduled. We don't have all the board present, and I'd like all the board present to talk about that. And
Yes,
we need to come up with a timeline on how we're gonna implement this in the next year.
Mhm.
when is the next meeting? What date?
January 25th, I believe.
Okay.
I'll start putting them.
I will be overseas, but I will try to zoom in, but I won't have as bad a time zone change, but I don't know what my connectivity is going to be. I'll be at sea. But I will make every effort to zoom in.
Got it. Okay, all right.
I'll send, when you leave, if I send you the board packet early enough, you can review it and send me comments.
I leave on like the 15th and I don't come back till, but no, I should have, I hope to have it connectivity. So you can send it out, but actually, I'll work with you offline. It may need it to be a little different account because still have trouble accessing
The email account.
the email account. Tommy wasn't able to help it, so. But yeah, so I will have another account that you can get into.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, good, sorry.
Now resident comments. Anyone in the room or on Zoom? Ma'am, anything?
No,
I have a couple, I guess a couple questions. The first is, who is responsible for sidewalks, like as far as
Oh.
maintenance and cleaning that?
County.
So in the common area, if they come in and do any type of pressure cleaning or any cleaning of them,
We
and
could
how do we
ask
get
them.
them to do that?
They all, I can't, anywhere I've ever lived in my life, the county has never done anything for
Hmm.
cleaning sidewalks. But, I mean,
Well, I know, but I'm talking, and I'm right, but I'm talking like, we have a lot of sidewalks that back into common areas that like you'll see, it's like black from here through where the common area, down the common area sidewalk through here, and then you've got the next one.
Say that would be a great issue to bring up at a CDD meeting.
correct, most of the sidewalks you're talking about in the parks and in the public areas are actually owned by the CDD, the Community Development District. Those meetings are on the first
Yeah.
Thursday of every month.
Okay,
Right here, so please feel free to bring, and the delegates, the committee members, I think, are all residents of the neighborhood, so they're your neighbors.
Mhm.
So, you can, if you want something done in any of the public areas that are not the lake house area, the dog park, or the pool area, the CDD is your go-to facility.
so do they then handle the grass and everything in the, like. on the
Landscaping,
whole
yep,
Park area, the whole,
yes, ma'am.
Yes, in Central Park, that is CDD 100%.
As well as the playground near the pool and all area outside the pool fence is also CDD.
okay.
And all the walkways that go between houses that go to connect the different parks, that's CDD property.
Okay, so I guess that then leads into my next thing, and that is. I think we can very quickly lose our community. If we don't do some type of enforcement on landscaping on people's properties. Because I haven't been using the dog park, I have been taking long walks throughout the neighborhood. And I am in shock with how some people are maintaining their yards, their shrubbery. And my mom lives in River Hill, and they get mad at their people for they don't have houses. Like their community is beautiful, and I feel like very quickly we could lose ours if we don't do something.
Dragon. Okay, noted. We'll make it.
And I don't know how we fix that.
I will.
Oh,
It depends.
We can look at it.
yeah, if you have a particular thing that jumps out, there's nothing that prevents you from sending Patty, the community manager, a observation and said, oh, I saw this at such and such a location.
There are so many addresses right now with
Okay.
such bad yards. And part of why I was asking, and I will be at the CDB meeting, is because it's really difficult to ask a homeowner to maintain their property if our common grounds aren't being maintained. And I face Central Park. And that's where I get my bug problems in the summer. That's where I get those issues that then creep into my yard. Because they're not maintaining that. So I mean, we need to start with like the community CBD maintaining the common property, but then once that gets under control. Like I said, I mean, some of these yards are.
Yeah, but there are ARC standards, there are community standards, so, well,
I think people need to, I don't know how the process is, and look, and like I said, I face Central Park, so in fact, some of these properties you have to even walk because
You can't
You
see
can't
them
get
unless you're
to
in front of them.
the front of the house, not seeing it.
Okay.
And then my last question is to, sorry to take so much time, is Ballinger?
Mhm.
What exactly are they responsible for other than sitting in their vehicles all day?
Ballinger is the irrigation company for both CDD and for us. So,
Because again, I'm gonna go back to my walks. 2 days in a row now, I have seen them on several occasions. There were two of their little vans today and one yesterday. Sitting in the cars on phones. Like, I don't know what they do, but if we're paying them a lot of money. When I see like sprinkler cords around trees that are cut and things like that. And I've been noticing it over the last couple of weeks, like I have never seen them out actually working on the property. I see them sitting in the little vans on phones.
That's all. If you do see irrigation issue, what I would suggest, rather than try to figure out if it's HOA or CDD property, send an email with a picture to both.
Well, I'm not as concerned about, I mean, I am concerned about the irrigation. If there is irrigation issue, I'm concerned about how much money we're paying somebody who's not doing their job.
right, their monthly contract in each different area, it varies, but they're also supposed to be installing the pad villa timers too. So there's actually two different crews that should be there. They shouldn't be sitting as much as they're sitting.
I mean, I haven't walked by them in the last 2 weeks without just seeing them sitting in the truck. Not really.
Right. But I think that the important is we don't pay them to be here on an hourly
Right.
rate.
Right.
We approve a contract for X amount of money to fix this pump or fix this. So they may be waiting to go from one job to another.
And that's- as long as we're not paying them X amount
As
every
far
month.
as I'm aware, that's not,
They're paid for a product, not for.
yeah, they're a,
Yeah. And then there's times that they're not here for us, they're here for CDD.
But again, that's my money. Again,
That's true.
like,
absolutely, no, that's why I encourage you, if it's that, but a lot of people, I think, just sort of conflate the HOA and the CDD as one institution, and in fact, they're two institutions with two separate responsibilities. We try to coordinate, and Patty goes to every one of those meetings, but they're open meetings. They are at 10 o'clock on a Thursday morning.
That's another issue. Okay, I'll take that. Okay.
There you go.
Is there a way to just notify, I don't know if we have a relationship manager with Ballinger that we can say, hey, homeowners are reporting,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
behavior, and it's their responsibility. That, but
Yeah, they may not be
we
able
can
to.
just,
so
we can
have a
just
good
let the
yeah.
relationship know so that they can address
Yeah.
whatever they need to
Well, as
address.
long as they're getting paid per job, and I mean, if it takes them 30 days to do a job, then that's on them. I was just concerned that they had some blanket,
Right,
like
Like
we're in the
unlimited
community
money,
daily
yeah.
for this number of hours, checking on whatever, and we get paid for that. Because I'm assuming they check the sprinkler systems in a CDD property monthly to make
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
they're working and functioning and,
Right, but again, they have an arrangement with the CDD.
right.
I don't think it's a standing, we have a person here 24/7 or, 8
Right.
days, so. But no, that's a good point.
Just,
We
you know,
can certainly,
as a
the
report
courtesy,
to
we could
behavior.
let Gail know, it's an observation.
And so what else?
Quick question, sorry, this is April Dakota, I just jumped on, didn't know if we had started early or if I missed the time change from Texas. Just checking in.
Got 1902 hours, man.
Okay, so we started at 7, right?
No, we're finishing. We started at 6 Eastern time.
For the love of Pete.
Oh, I'm glad you like Pete.
I thought it was, okay, I'm sorry.
It's 7,
Set 6, it's right
Six.
now. Right
it's
now.
7
Yeah.
Eastern time right now, yeah.
Right, no, that's why I thought it was started at 7, so that's why I called in, that's what I have on. I have 6 o'clock my time on the thing, but maybe it didn't adjust for the, dang it, for the current time zone on my calendar.
We had a quorum and that we actually have moved read it steadily and relatively quickly through.
All right.
Well, I sent actually an hour or so ago, I I was finishing up my notes and sent out a link about duct cleaning, just as an FYI for everybody, because I saw that was a pretty large bill for our team, or
Yeah.
our properties.
But we push that off until next month. We're gonna do some more research on that.
Okay, yeah, thank you. I provided the EPA.gov site for their background and information on duct cleaning and what they recommend. And so glad we're going to do some more research before we drop that bill. I guess my next question would be, and apologies to take up all your time, what committee was I assigned to, since people who aren't there get probably last dibs?
We're missing you on all of them.
Oh,
April,
you are
all of
responsible for
them.
everything.
Sweet.
We pushed that off till January, because 3 of the board members weren't present, so we pushed that one off.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Well, no, because I mean, part of why I was interested in getting some traction on that was only because I know I wanted to recommend starting to do some of those customer engagements, community engagements, where we go out and, you know, meet the HOA, talk to the HOA, whatever, but on their turf. I didn't know if that would be a social committee item to consider, or more of a just a board to do. So that's all. Anything else really crazy that I had missed? I think those are only the major notes I had. Oh, did someone ask about or make a comment, Roundup for sod removal or sod killing?
Mhm.
Did anybody else
Are you asking
comment on
about?
that?
We motioned, the motion passed to replace the sod on the 4 different properties.
Yeah, I don't have any issue with the replacement of the sod. But when you read that billing statement, they're going to use Roundup to kill off all the current grass there on patches that large. That for me is extremely concerning. Roundup is just not good for our neighborhood probably as a whole, but on large patches like that, like it's not like they're going to remove the current sod and then put down new sod. Their plan is to soak it, those square footages, in Roundup and then put down new sod.
They're gonna
So
remove
again,
what's there.
I'm sorry.
They are gonna remove what's there. It's weeds.
Okay. So right now it doesn't say its method of removal is just Roundup. If you look through the quotes, every single one of those quotes says basically soak this square foot area in Roundup. So maybe
Does that, a second, does that have anything to do with the fact that there's a fungus that's there that has been also killing the grass? That may be one of the reasons.
but for every single one of them,
I
don't know.
Okay, yeah.
This is what they're
The
doing.
company's gonna do what needs to be done to remedy the problem. And they are gonna scrape it, they're gonna remove all the old sod.
Right.
And then I understand it doesn't say that, but in previous board meetings we had with them, when they've explained to us how to fix it,
Right.
that's the methodology. Now, it's things that he's not here tonight to explain it.
I know. that's
He's
right.
he's gonna keep coming to our meetings, right?
Yes. he
Okay.
was just up this week.
Okay.
So again, it's, if no one else has an issue with Roundup being used on huge portions of sod across the community or in those sections, then I'll sit down and be quiet. But I saw Roundup for large square footages, and that level of Roundup used at just concerns me as a homeowner, as someone who would be next to that property, as a way to like, yeah. So that would be my only concern that I had noted for
Mark,
those. And
my 2 cents in. Mark,
Yeah, who's that?
Jeff Leone.
Hi, Jeff.
How you doing, Mark?
That's one of your properties. Go right ahead.
Yeah, you're talking about my property, and since I'm the largest replacement area, I definitely have a problem with using Roundup. That was not mentioned to me at all in all my conversations with Patty and whoever else was involved in this. It was my understanding that they were going to replace the sod as well as the soil, because there was an issue with the soil also. It was never mentioned to me that the land was going to be soaked with Roundup. And due to all the problems involving Roundup lawsuits and whatever else is going on with them, That is something I'm very concerned about. And since I have the largest area, that is a very big concern. So I would like clarification on that before anything is started, even though I waited 3 years for this.
I will get with Tom and figure out if there's something else that could be used without having to use a large amount of Roundup. That's how they get rid of the fungus. Not to find another way.
Wouldn't the replacement of sod take care of that?
Because
I mean,
anything that's in
replacement of
the,
soil, excuse me, replacement of soil.
they're gonna scrape the earth, they're not gonna replace all the soil, they're gonna put a little bit, some down, but not.
Right.
Then they're gonna put the new stuff on top, the sibyl on top. But we wanna make sure it's gone, that there's nothing living in there before, there's no fungus left.
Yeah, I think this is a fair point, and the motion carried based on the assumption and previous conversations that they're going to scrape the old sod.
Mhm.
And not just kill all the old sod. So have a discussion with Tom.
Mhm.
If their intent is to just leave the old sod and kill it all with Roundup, then the homeowners have a problem with that and we'll have to reattack.
No, it has to be removed.
Okay.
Because we talked about that.
Why would they have to kill the sod if they're gonna scrape it up?
Say that again, Jeff?
Why would they have to kill the sod, soak the sod first, and then scrape it up?
They're gonna remove anything that's there, so this way, you don't have to call me again and say your sod is dying.
Well, I think it sounds like that's a fair question. I think it's worth getting just a little bit of background on that before we move, completely. So I think we have if we need a motion, we get more information on the use of Roundup. If it's spot treatment here and there, if the intent is to kill the mold and that's the only, then we'd just like to understand the use of that chemical and how widespread it's going to be prior to them starting work.
I don't think we need a motion for that. We can just ask Tom to send us an email to explain the process before he begins.
That'd be awesome. Sorry to throw a wrench into everything. I really did the work. I was ready to come like full VP mode just to ask questions, and I hate that I screwed this up. But those were the only questions. Those are the only questions or things that I saw in the notes, the concerns that I had. And then just wishing everybody, I hope you guys all had a Merry Christmas and a beautiful Happy New Year. Look forward to working with you guys all in the new year as I get my training done. Thank you, Patty.
Are there any other community comments?
Hey, Mark,
Who's that?
Will,
it's Will.
Hey, Will, what's up?
Hey, they've been doing that Roundup thing for 10 plus years, if not longer. And because when I was doing a lot of residential housing, they do that because they have to kill everything. Because if you just scrape it up and then put new sod on it, you can end up getting weeds, anything that was seeding that's still sitting under the ground, they've got to kill it. Plus, once they do this, they have to wait a little while before they can actually put the sod down. So they'll kill it, it'll die, then they'll scrape it, then they got to check the soil, make sure everything's not still there, or you'll kill your new grass. But they've been doing this they used to scrape it and put it down, but then next thing you know, you got weeds in your brand new grass.
Yeah, well, it's a good point.
You got to kill everything.
I do appreciate everybody's proactiveness on this Roundup issue, because that is a big deal. It is a carcinogen, I believe.
Yeah.
So I think let's get an email from Tom explaining the process and the amount of Roundup that they're going to use and the environmental considerations that they take when applying this poison.
absolutely.
And then we will take it from there.
Okay.
Any other comments from board members? No. All right, and no one else in the room, no one online? How many people are online tonight?
Currently it shows that there are 7.
7, great. Thank you for everybody that dialed in to watch the meeting tonight. I appreciate it. If there's no other comments, motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Seconded.
All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
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 Hi. Sorry.
None opposed, the motion carries. Have a great night, everybody.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Thank you.
Whenever